It's dope, man. I love coming to events like this and seeing like the authenticity of the fans. They know a lot of them know my story. They've been watching me for years. It's just really cool to interact with people who's been watching me on my journey because I've just been fighting for my family, and these people are fans through the ride. So I appreciate them all.
And just a few ones I want to get your thoughts on, because you don't have a fight lined up. But there was a lot of big news that Dana White kind of dropped on Wednesday. The biggest one is that Ilia Topuria is vacating the featherweight title to move up to lightweight. I know you're on this Legends Only tour right now, but a lot of people seem to want to see that fight. I'm not asking if you would take that fight, but just what do you make of Ilia just vacating the belt and now moving to your division?
I mean, it's respectful. It's honorable to vacate the belt, to not hold up division where guys have been working so hard to get their shot at the title. He's doing it the right way, and I've never seen him in person, but if he can make one, everybody says he's heavy, he walks around heavy, but if he can make 145, I don't know how big he is, because some of these lightweights are huge.
And then they booked that fight against Volkanovski and Lopez for the vacant title. They haven't announced Ilia's next fight. Obviously, he wants to fight Islam. Islam's team seems to want him to maybe take a fight against a contender to prove he's a lightweight, so doesn't look like he's just beating up an undersized featherweight again. Do you think Ilia deserves the first shot at the title, or should he have to go through someone like an Arman or a Charles or someone like you or Gaethje or someone like that?
That's tough to say, especially like with all the contenders, how the lightweight division's been over the last few years. But with a guy like him, vacating the belt and moving up, finishing Max Holloway the way he did, I would give him a crack at the lightweight title right off the bat.
And obviously, another big fight on that Miami card, the one that you fought on last year. Your buddy Michael Chandler fighting Paddy Pimblett. Now, I know you tweeted, put all your money, hammer down on Michael Chandler. Is that just because you spent time with him and you just think he's a better fighter than Paddy? Why do you say, hammer down that money on Michael Chandler? I
don't know, for some reason, I just have a feeling he's going to finish Paddy. And like you said, I enjoy watching him fight. Just our interactions haven't been the best. But I just think Paddy hasn't fought somebody like that in the UFC yet. The power, the grit, but also just the resume of Chandler. He's fought the best of the best for a long time, multiple-time world champion. It's just a huge step up for Paddy, I think. But we'll see.
And we've seen you, you've tweeted the phrase, loading. I was hearing you interact with some of the fans, so I'm not going to say what you were saying, but, there's this rumor of this big card in July that's coming. I don't know if you can shed any light on that, or there's also a rumored location that I don't want to drop on here, but...
I'll drop it. Okay. I'll drop it this summer, July or August probably, and we're working on UFC New Orleans. I'm trying to retire in my home state. The UFC hasn't been there since maybe 2015.
That was the Hendo-Tim Bosch fight, I think, right?
Yeah. I fought on the card as well. I fought Yancy Medeiros, but that was the last time I got to fight at home. So to retire where it all started in Louisiana would be incredible for me in my career.
I would assume main event if that's going to be your retirement fight?
Yes, sir.
Is there any names you can give away, or just not quite yet?
Not quite yet. Still working on a couple things.
And I do want to get your thoughts. I want to end this quickly because I know you got a lot of fans here who want to talk to you. But that tweet that Israel Adesanya put out there, I just want to get your thoughts on it. Where someone tweeted you might not have won the title, but of everything you've done, and he tweeted he views that fight against Kelvin Gastelum as him winning the undisputed title, and that was his first title win. And he said that no matter what, whether it's interim or undisputed, you were the champion at that time. And he said, hold your head up and keep striving on. Just what does words like that mean from someone of just not just Israel Adesanya's stature, but just a guy who went through the same thing you did, interim title, and he views that as the undisputed belt?
My wife tells me I'm a world champion, and I feel like a world champion. In that moment, I beat a guy who was the current featherweight champion of the world. He was still the featherweight champion when we fought for the interim belt. And it is what it is. I have a gold belt at home that says UFC World Champion on it, and fans can have their opinions and do whatever they want, but I worked my ass off for 18 years to reach that night, and I've tried to make it to the pinnacle time and time again. This is a rough game, but it is what it is. I'm a world champion.